We are back on the football front. We got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot of coaches that got hired, and we're here to grade them. We got some great divisional round games coming up this week to determine who goes to the championship games. We got much more too. I'm Thompson.
I'm Julian Gallardi, and we're also going to get into the awards. We're going to make our predictions for the regular season awards, but the coaching news is at the forefront right now. It seems that all the teams have decided. 6 of the 8 have officially decided, and the Bengals and Dolphins are strongly considering 2 guys that we'll get into. So, brother, let's break this down team by team here.
I'm excited.
You know what? Let's just start with my Jets. Adam Gase. Go ahead.
Okay, well, the fact that, you know what, when he got interviewed for the Jets job, I didn't want to say anything, but deep down I kind of had a feeling that they were really interested in him, and I'll tell you why. They had interest in him because Sam Darnold is young, and you know what he could do with young quarterbacks. You saw what he did with Peyton Manning. You saw what he did with Tannehill when he was healthy. Took him to the playoffs. They were 10-6. They didn't win, but he took them. But the thing is, we saw what happened in Miami. He fizzled out. He doesn't get along with players, as you can see. A lot of people complain about him, and now he's coming to a Jets team. Listen, I think Jets fans are a little bit, like you told when we talked about this yesterday, you were up in the air. What did you tell me? You said you did not want Adam Gase.
Okay, so I'm going to go in on this now. I'm going to be honest with everyone. So I wanted McCarthy. You guys heard me preach for him last week. McCarthy's been consistent 9 out of 13 years in the playoffs. I understand he had Aaron Rodgers, and some people think he fell short a little bit. But I liked his experience, and I thought he would have been a good fit with Darnold. I think the personalities could have meshed. I think McCarthy wanted a more laid-back guy, not someone so ego-driven like Aaron Rodgers. I also think that's another reason why he was turned off by the Browns job personally. Oh, there goes my headset.
Yeah, it happens, man. That's what happens. Adam Gase, knocks some things off.
So let me get this back on. But listen, I was pissed when this first happened, but I got talked off the ledge by a couple people. Do I still think McCarthy was the better candidate? Yes, I'll still say that, honestly. But
yeah, no, he definitely was. Absolutely.
I think Gase is a good second choice. He seems to, that's what everyone keeps saying, that he was the runner-up. A lot of people wanted McCarthy first. But here's the thing. Gase does work well with quarterbacks. He has a good track record. He was with the Broncos when Peyton Manning had that record-setting season. And apparently Peyton Manning called Chris Johnson. This had a huge influence on our decision. I'm not sure how big of a factor that was, but a phone call was definitely made to the Jets from Peyton Manning.
Yeah, Peyton Manning...
He's a big advocate.
Yes, Peyton Manning is a big advocate for Adam Gase. He's a big fan. You saw what he did with Adam Gase when he was in Denver, and you saw how he had the 55 touchdown season. It's still an NFL record. And listen, he gave the Browns a glowing recommendation in the Jets, and the Browns didn't want to go in that direction. Honestly, I thought they would, and the Jets decided to. I mean, if I were the Jets and I was Christopher Johnson and I was Mike McCognon, I would have went with the better candidate in Mike McCarthy, who is 125, 77, and 1, I believe. I think he has one tie, 2 ties, something like that.
There was that tie this year. I don't know if he has another one, but I get it. Regardless, we get it. He has a good record.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though. McCarthy, a lot of times he was conservative. I saw an interesting thing that his play calling actually cost the team 2 wins this season based on what he did on certain fourth down situations. So I think a lot of people feel as the game has passed McCarthy by, because the Jets were the only team that was in on him, really. So I don't think we were alone in this sentiment. Although I'll say Adam Gase is innovative. He's a little bit creative. The Dolphins were hamstrung. Listen, I understand all the player issues. That was my main concern, actually. Bobby brought it up. I was very concerned how he's going to interact with the players in the team. We have a couple hotheads. Robbie Anderson, obviously, glaring. Then Jamal Adams is very opinionated as well. Obviously, Chris Herndon's going to be dealing with the DUI, so I'm just hoping that Gase doesn't go too crazy with them, that everyone can just figure it out. It's going to be a complete culture shock for the Jets because they've also hired Greg Williams, so you know how laid back we were last year with Todd Bowles, Casey Rogers, and Jeremy Bates. This is going to be a complete 360 on that, and I'm actually kind of happy about it, to be honest. We need a wake-up call.
Jet fans should be extremely happy with the hire of Greg Williams.
Well, yeah, I like that more than Gase, honestly.
No, listen. Greg Williams, he's a great D coordinator. You saw what he did in Cleveland.
Yeah,
He turned that defense around.
Yeah.
When he was with the Saints, when he did the bounty and all that, we all know he put money on, so maybe they all played well because of that.
Yeah, I mean, they almost killed Brett Favre, but other than that, I guess it was all right.
But listen, the guy still has talent. He knows defense.
Yeah, Greg's cool.
He knows defense, and the Jets are going to change their defense up. And
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you. We're going to go from the 4-3. We're going to switch to a 4-3 from the 3-4. So what type of personnel changes do you see coming? What do you think about Darren Lee's fit on this team now? That was a question that one of my buddies asked me. Do they see a fit for Darren Lee now that we're switching to defenses?
Yes, you got to play him. The guy is one of your best players on defense. I think you guys drafted him in the first round for a reason. He's you got to put him in somehow.
I think the issue is that we have Williamson as the middle backer, so I'm not sure how well we would fare on the outside. I'm guessing that's a concern. But I'm guessing we're going to have to experiment with that.
There's no other guy on the Jets defense, in my opinion, other than Darren Lee, who you could put on the you put him on the outside. You test him. You could do a little bit of a rotation. But that guy, what's it, Louvu is his name?
Yeah, Frankie Louvu, yeah.
Frankie Louvu.
And we got Jenkins, too, on the outside.
Yeah, Jordan Jenkins. Definitely Jordan Jenkins is going to be on one side, but you got to have Darren Lee on the field. Listen, he's one of your best players. And if not, then you know what you got to do? Maybe you have him line up as as a DN sometime.
That would really be something. But, but we'll have to see what we do with the personnel. But I'm going to turn up back for a second. Adam Gase, I've been talked off the ledge because he works well with the quarterbacks. I mean, Jay Cutler had his best season with him, and it's hard to get good football out of Jay Cutler, so I had to give Gase credit for that. When the Dolphins, it was a shot in the dark when they got Cutler, he was over the hill. Tannehill went down. They really didn't have any other options, so I can't kill them for that,
No.
I know it looked bad, but I understand. And also, let's not forget, he did make the playoffs with Tannehill, but Tannehill went down. It was actually Matt Moore that was playing in that playoff game. So he didn't even have his starting quarterback in the playoff game. So you could say he hasn't got a fair shot yet.
The quarterback situation with him in Miami was not the best.
And he did everything he could with it. He still had a winning record.
I understand that. No, I understand. Listen, I think he's a great offensive coordinator. You saw what he did in Chicago, and then and he did well when he was there.
And the Broncos,
that's where you got to start with the Broncos. He's a great play call. He's a great offensive mind, and that's what a lot of teams really want to start going to. They want that young. He's only 40 years old.
Yes, that's another thing. It's the Sean McVay trend that we're about to get into. That's a huge thing going on here. It's all about the youth and the young offensive mind now. Also, Alshon Jeffrey had a lot of praise for Gase and said that Gase and Darnold could be a great match. Even said he could see Darnold winning a Super Bowl, which made me happy, obviously. So I'm happy that Jeffrey... What's going on with this?
Just look at that. It's not...
Oh. Okay. Well, are we going to do that?
That's up to you.
I mean, we could, but... Alright, I guess. Why not?
You really want to?
Yeah, except I don't know if we're going to have him the whole time, though. Should we just do it for the coaches, or is he going to be in for the duration?
Right now, let's finish up the coaches.
And then get him after?
Yeah, we'll get him after.
Okay, so we're going to have a surprise guest on the show.
Yep, we're going to have a surprise.
So that's what that's about. So Jets, Adam Gase, okay. Bobby, give it a grade, A through F. What do you give it?
I'm going to give it a C.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a C, actually a C minus, and here's why I'm going to give it a C minus. I think he has a lot to prove.
That's fair.
I think he found
his quarterback, I hope.
Yeah, he found his quarterback, and here's the thing too. I want to stop this now. I'm starting to hear lately that Sam Darnold has Peyton Manning do not compare this man to Peyton Manning, please.
I think he's more like Tony Romo, to be honest. And that's not a bad comparison either. No. Romo's a great quarterback. Yeah, I'm not talking about the playoffs at all. Just about his ability on the field.
Tony Romo was a great player, but they also have another similarity. They throw a lot of picks. So,
all right. It is his rookie season, though.
No, I understand that.
But he has turned over USC. All right.
He has a lot of potential. I'm not going to diss the guy. I think he's a great talent. Unfortunately, my team has to play him twice a year. He's just going to get better. And you know what? I hope he finds, he gets the weapons around him to make him, somewhat better.
Yes, that's okay. You just hit the nail on the head. We're about to move on from Gase, but Honestly, I told Bobby this, and I've been telling a lot of people this. It doesn't matter who our coach is if we don't fix what's going on in the fields. The Jets' offense is a mess. We have no linemen. We have no real running back. We barely have any wide receivers, so we need to fix all of that. And you got to fix the defense, too. You could hire Bill Belichick to coach his team right now as it fits, and he can't even put them in the playoffs. What do you think?
About
Belichick couldn't bring the Jets to the playoffs with his current roster.
No.
No one could.
Listen.
Doesn't matter who it is. That's my point. The personnel is more important than the coach.
Of course.
At this point, but the coach is still important.
Yep.
Obviously.
But let's move on
yeah,
from
we'll,
that.
We'll pass
No,
Gase.
I want your grade. What are you gonna give a grade? I want your grade too.
I'll give mine C plus B minus. That's what I'm putting it.
Okay.
I'll give him a shot.
You're a Jets fan, so you know.
So I'll say C plus B minus right now. Now, obviously, that can change over time. My initial reaction is that because McCarthy was the choice for me, that's why I have to lower Gase's grade automatically because it's not who I would have picked. But I hope it works out for the best. I'm going to give him a shot. I'm behind him. He's my coach now. So let's go, Gase. Get it done.
Yeah, I like that. I like that you're standing by your guy. So let's move on. Well, who do we got next?
Packers.
All right. You want me to go in on this?
So this is a very interesting hire. We have Matt LaFleur was hired as the Packers coach, and this has gotten mixed reviews all around the league. This guy basically had a cup of coffee with McVay. The running joke that's going around right now. He was with McVay for a year in St. Louis. Not St. Louis, Los Angeles. Jesus, me and my team switches. But he was in Los Angeles with McVay for a year. So now everyone thinks he's the next big thing. But it took him 12 games to figure out that Derrick Henry needs to get the ball. So how good is this guy? I'm not really that sure, to be honest.
I think the Packers, let's put it to you this way, I think they dropped the ball with not hiring Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go to, because he would have went there, I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure you told me that he would have.
No, he would have went there, and the Patriots were preparing for him to leave. I told you, I remember.
Yeah, you did. I do remember.
And so the Packers decided to go in a different direction, and they went with Matt LaFleur. And a little brief summary about who Matt LaFleur is. He is an offensive coordinator. He's with McVay. Last year he was with the Titans with Mike Vrabel. And the fact, listen, on that team with Marcus Mariota, I thought they would be a lot better than they were.
Yes, that's the thing.
Injuries.
Yes,
and then it takes you 12 games to realize, just give the ball to Derrick Henry.
Yeah, where was Derrick Henry for the first 3/4 of the season? We had him in fantasy. He was an absolute bust, and then he wakes up when it's way too late, obviously. Derrick Henry, great player, wasn't used enough early on. And I think the Titans could have been a playoff team if they used him properly.
I agree 100%.
They only missed by one game, so he could have easily made up a game if they used him a little better.
No, if they used him a little bit better, they'd be a lot. I'm telling you, they would. You saw what he did, and listen, next year they're gonna use him a lot, and he's just.
He's gonna be a workhorse next year.
This is a former Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's the truth. I mean, he played a great game against the Chiefs in the playoffs, which is what made me believe he was due for a breakout campaign, and we didn't get to see it till the end, sadly.
Yeah, and listen, when they got Dion Lewis, I felt like that was a great back to compliment him because if he runs the ball, he gets it down, and then on short yardage, you give it to Dion Lewis. But they decided to use Dion Lewis more than Derrick Henry. But I'm going to tell you this: Matt LaFleur is this hire. I don't like it. I really don't.
I know.
Think, what does he? In my opinion, what has he done to bring to the table? I don't think he's.
Like I said,
sniffed success.
He had a cup of coffee with McVay.
Listen, Sean McVay, I've heard this rumor lately. It says if you talk to this guy for an hour, you could become an NFL head coach.
Yeah, everyone's making jokes. So someone tweeted, I made eye contact with him at a bar 2 years ago. Does that make me a head coach?
he's got to, listen, Sean McVay has become something sort of a genius because, back in the day, people used to say the same thing about Bill Belichick. So,
yes.
But we could say that, listen, Matt LaFleur, all I'm going to say with this, I think the Packers dropped the ball. They should have went with Josh McDaniels. Josh
has proven a lot more over time.
Josh was a head coach before in Denver, and yes, it wasn't successful, but he came back to New England, and look at what he's done. He's won 2 Super Bowls with them. He makes those offenses top 5 every year because he knows just how to get things done. And we don't think if he's going from Brady to Rodgers, it can't get much better than that.
Yeah, right.
And he will find a way to...
Basically 2 goats there.
he will find no. Well, Brady's the number one goat, but
Well, you know what I
to
mean.
find he will find a way, and when I say him, I mean Josh McDaniels will find a way on the Packers to get it done. Matt LaFleur, I think, is going to be a guy, who the Packers are who Aaron Rodgers, I think he'll like him, but listen, I think they're going to struggle a little bit. I think there's going to be some growing pains. And look, the Packers offense, they need some help. Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones can't do it all alone. They got to go get some more
I've
talent.
been banging
Randall
this
Cobb
now.
is a free agent.
He's a
He needs to
has-been.
go.
He's a has-been.
I think that guy Geronimo Allison has some talent, but he gets injured
Yeah,
a lot.
he can play
And
when he's
the
out
kids,
there.
The two kids, what is it? Equally St. Brown.
And then
is
there's
decent.
Valdez Scantling.
Oh,
Valdez Scantling, I believe.
But look, Matt LaFleur. I'll say something that a Packers fan told me. What has Matt LaFleur done in the NFL that makes you think that he can make the Packers a successful team again? And I don't think he's done anything. I'm going to give you my grade right now. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. You want my grade?
Yeah.
That's an F.
Oh, wow. Wow, you're going deep
Yes,
with this.
that's an F.
Oh, wow.
I don't like it
That's
at all.
probably the worst hire, I'm guessing, out of all the ones we'll go through for you.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
So far, yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to shine some light on the floor a little bit because I think that they didn't want McDaniels because he would clash with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if they could have meshed so well. I mean, McDaniels is kind of a hothead. I'm sure you would agree with me a little bit, right?
Well, Josh
That he can
McDaniels,
rub some people the wrong way.
I mean, he did back out of a handshake deal.
That's
with
exactly
the
what I
Colts.
mean. And that may have actually turned out better for the Colts, which we'll get to later.
Oh, yeah, and I also think, in a way, I think that they didn't do that because they felt he would stay in New England again. That's another thing. So,
yeah. I don't know if the Rodgers-McDaniels match would have been
I'm
perfect.
going to say this. I think Josh McDaniels is the heir apparent to Belichick.
Yeah,
So
that's what we seem to think. So LaFleur is interesting. He's only 3 years older than Aaron Rodgers, too.
Who? LaFleur?
Yeah, so they're only 3 years apart.
I know Aaron
so that's
Rodgers
gonna be
is 35, so he's only 38 years
Well,
old.
LaFleur's 39, so it's like basically 3 years.
Yeah.
Like maybe Rodgers turns 36 soon. But I'm going to say I'll give it a B-. I'll go a little higher because if you weren't going to do McDaniels, this was my dark horse candidate, so I can't kill the move because I thought it was the second choice. And I think that he'll be all right. With Rodgers, they just need to fix that offense, like Bobby said, because that's going to be the key. That personnel is not there for Aaron. You're going to need to get a few linemen, and you're going to need another solid wide receiver. Aaron Jones is a good running back, like we said.
Yeah.
So you
absolutely.
really just need maybe a new tight end, too, because Jimmy Graham's also a has-been. I'm sure Bobby would agree with me about that.
Yeah, of course. I agree with you.
So, yeah, we'll move on from Packers. Browns with Freddie Kitchens. What do you think about this one?
Okay, with the Browns, I really thought they would go with. I thought they would interview Arians.
I think I had them doing Kingsbury, if I remember correctly.
And Kingsbury made a lot of sense for them because he's young.
And he
could
had
work
worked with Baker a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, but they went with Freddie Kitchens, and they did that because I think, you know what? I think Freddie Kitchens, you saw what he did with the offense. He really did well, and they got a lot of playmakers, and you know what? I think they wanted to keep that. So,
yes.
You know what? I like that. You know, Baker Mayfield likes him. The Jimmy Haslam likes him. The organization likes him. The offense. The Browns are an up and coming team. They got a lot of playmakers. They got Juice. They got Njoku. They got Nick Chubb at running back. Duke Johnson, and so on and so forth. And of course, the guy Baker Mayfield. But I think Freddie Kitchen. I don't think they wanted to make. If they were going to hire somebody else, I think they wanted to keep Freddie Kitchens. And I think keeping him was key, and Baker Mayfield likes him. Look, you don't have to get rid of somebody. You don't have to fix it if it's not broken, and it was not broken.
Let me try to turn this on quick.
You don't fix it if it's not broken.
Okay, good. We're still rolling. Had to make sure a little computer thing here. But, okay, so here's my take on it. I'm going to give it a B. I think it's a solid move, but they could have found a better candidate. Kitchens is not the best coaching candidate, in my opinion.
I don't think he is, but I'll give it a B-. But I think he can help this team.
I'll give it a B because they are in rhythm with him. Baker likes him as the offensive coordinator, but it's different going from the OC to the head coach.
Of course,
he has so much
it's
more.
going to be an adjustment.
So much more responsibility on him now. How will he adjust to that? He's not just calling plays; he has to deal with everything. Defensive coordinator, I hear they might be hiring Steve Wilkes, so I guess he can take care of the defense, which makes some sense.
Steve Wilkes was a great D coordinator.
Yes, that's
for the
like
Panthers.
Steve Wilkes is perfect as a D coordinator.
And if people don't remember, the only reason they hired Steve Wilkes in Arizona last year is because everybody was taken up at the time, and they needed
Arians was kind of a surprise how he left them.
Yes.
So yeah, I guess they just weren't in error.
Kind of thrown to the fire with
it was
a very, very
I feel
bad
I really feel bad for him. He wasn't given a fair shot in Arizona. They kind of threw him to the wolves and said, "Here you go," and they didn't help him at all. So I think he could be fine as a defensive coordinator. So I think that's a good move for the Browns.
Yeah.
So Kitchens, I'll give a solid B because I'm just not sure how he's going to handle everything. We don't know yet because he hasn't coached in the league yet. What has he even done besides what has he done besides being a coordinator for the Browns? What was he doing before that?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was a quarterbacks coach, so he's always been with the quarterbacks.
Okay, so yeah, he was not a coordinator anywhere else, I don't think. So
no.
That's why
he's been with the Browns. I think is so far for a year. Let's look that up. So
we can glance at him quickly.
So it is.
Let's see what we have.
So Freddie Kitchens he's been the offensive coordinator since last year.
Okay, let's go through his whole profile.
His team's coach. So he was the running backs coach with the Cardinals before that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a Mississippi State running backs coach, so he's always been around running backs. So I take that back. He's never been a quarterbacks coach. He's always been a running backs coach.
Interesting. What was he? So he was running backs coach with the Cardinals.
Cardinals from 2017, and then he went to the Browns last year. But in 2005, he was the Mississippi State running backs coach.
Yeah, so that's I've never seen such a fast rise to a head coach. Really fascinating stuff. But honestly, yeah. So let's see. All right, so yeah. So let's go with the Cardinals since we were talking about them before. It's kind of a good mix. So they're the ones that do Kingsbury.
Yep.
And they have Vance on their defense and appear to be having Steve Sarkisian on their offense, which makes me want to throw up and vomit because I think he's the worst offensive coordinator in the history of the NFL. I'm not sure why they hired him, but we should move on before I blow a gasket because I really hate Sarkisian. He single-handedly cost the Falcons that playoff game last year, and he made a great offense worse. He did nothing except make them regress.
Well, we all know that with the hire of Cliff Kingsbury in Arizona, he already said he's going to call the plays, and they hired Steve Sarkisian to maybe, maybe give him some insight on some plays, but I don't think he should even step foot on a football field to coach anybody. The guy is useless. I think I think he's still hitting the bottle a lot. Definitely with his play calling.
Yeah, it looked like it, right? And Atlanta's not a good city to have someone like that because they have so much stuff to do there.
No.
The nightlife is very good in Atlanta, from what I've heard.
Yeah, so, listen, the hire of Cliff Kingsbury, he's young, he's getting his first start. People who don't know this, he was Tom Brady's backup in 2003.
Yes, and Brady gave him a ringing endorsement to be a head coach. Said he was a great football mind.
Yep, and you know what? He resigned from USC because he really wanted a job. USC denied permission to get him to interview, and he didn't like that. And you know what? He found a job. And you know what? I think is his first time around. I'm going to tell you this. I think his first year, it's going to be a little bit of a process, especially
for sure.
with Josh Rose. They got the number 1 overall pick. They could do a lot of things with that.
Yeah.
They could pick somebody and build up that defensive line, which to help. I think they could go get Nick Bosa.
That would be
team up with Chandler Jones.
That's my guess right now. That's the most probable thing. Bosa's the best player on the board. Also, I don't see them moving the pick really. I think it's Bosa all day for them.
No, they're not going to move the pick. But also, they can.
There's that rumor with Kyler Murray, which we can get to, I guess.
Yeah. So there's been a rumor.
We might as well.
Around, so we'll get it. We'll get to it. There's been a rumor going around because Cliff Kingsbury said in an interview when he got the job with the Cardinals. He was asked about Kyler Murray because it was announced that Kyler Murray, instead of going to play baseball, he will enter the NFL draft. I don't think, I'll tell you this, I'm not shocked. I think he's too good not to be in the draft, and he has a shot to go in the top 5 because of his
So you
talent.
really think he can go that high?
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of talent. So, but he did say he likes him. He makes plays, and there's speculation that they would trade Rosen and would draft Kyler Murray number 1.
Yeah.
I could tell you guys right now that is a pipe dream.
Yeah,
They are not going
that
to-
is lunacy to me.
They are
Like
not-
that's just talk. That's like water cooler talk. Like you just say that. That's like that thing you say like you're just messing around. It's like a video game trade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll switch Rosen and we'll get Murray. No, that's not going to actually
Exactly.
happen. Because they actually confirmed today that Rosen's their guy. I saw a tweet that it's confirming that they're not doing that. Basically.
Yeah, so they're not going to do that.
No.
Adam Schefter threw that around. They're definitely not going to do that. They're not going to move on from Josh Rosen. Look, Josh Rosen last year, you saw, he struggled, but it was a bad offensive line. It was
Yes.
a bad offense when you have only Larry Fitzgerald. But listen, I hope Cliff Kingsbury can make David Johnson go back to the David
That's
Johnson
what I
role.
really hope for too. Yes, they still have DJ. Christian Kirk's a nice piece. They have tons of work to do. Fix the line, get some more receivers for
Absolutely.
Rosen. So I'm not giving up on Rosen either. I think he'll be fine. I liked him coming out of college, so I'm gonna stick with him. But Kingsbury, I'm gonna give a C actually. I don't love this because they're really taking a shot in the dark. Like Kingsbury has had a losing record in college, and now you're gonna bring him to the pros.
Yeah.
You know, like, you see where my skepticism is?
Yeah, I
like,
know
what
what you
has
mean.
this guy done to prove it? I mean, he had Patty Mahomes. Patty Mahomes is a freak in nature. How much of that was Kingsbury? How much of that is Patty just being that good, you know?
Exactly. So, I think, listen, it's going to be growing pains. I'm going to give this grade for this. I'm going to give it a C+. I think he's got a lot to do. I think if he came into the league and became an offensive coordinator for a year.
That's a
or
different
two,
story.
yeah,
Same
that-
thing with Gase. Him and Gase, like, they were better calling the plays and doing everything, in my opinion. But hopefully Gase does better than Kingsbury, for my sake.
Yeah, so we
So
will.
I'll give him a C.
Yeah, so that's what.
So
Okay.
now we're going to go this is the one that we had right away. This was the first one that was reported, and this was a home run. I'm giving it an A+. I think you will too. Bucks and Bruce Arians.
It's a match made in heaven. Look,
I think that's the
Bruce
best hire of all of them,
Yep.
honestly.
And listen, it was Bruce Arians retired. He was a broadcaster this year, and the Bucks job he was interested in. I think he's the guy
That can
to get
turn him
them-
around.
Yes,
I could see
and
it.
what did he do? He brought his old band back together. Todd Bowles is the D coordinator.
And
He
I'll
had some-
speak. Yes, Todd Bowles as a defensive coordinator is great. He was good in Arizona. Just can't be a head guy like I've been saying for weeks now, but I have no problem with him resurfacing as a coordinator. He's very good with the defense. Although we struggled defensively, we didn't have the proper personnel a lot of the times. So I'm going to say that Bowles will turn the Bucks defense around if they fix the personnel for him. And I also think that Arians could unlock Jameis Winston. If anyone can, I think it's Bruce. He believes in Jameis, which is very
They
important.
said they're going to build it around him.
Yeah, it's all about Jameis. Bruce is all in on him. He says he can win it all with him. I don't know about that, but if he believes it, we'll see it. And it's good that they have that belief. You want a coach that believes they can win the Super Bowl with their quarterback.
Exactly.
So Bruce Arians is a home run for the Bucks. This is a very great move for them. The Bucks normally don't get hires like this, so hats off to them. They did it.
Look, Bruce Arians is such a great coach. He's going to go into Tampa, and he's going to make them much better.
I would have loved to have him for the Jets, but the issue was we had Todd Bowles, so we wouldn't do that to Bowles.
No. So, look, Bruce Arians, I'm so happy he's getting another. He's coming back to coach, and look, he is a brilliant
Offensive line, yep. It's a great.
And with that, that is what Jameis Winston needs. I think he's going to clean up Jameis Winston. He's going to keep him in line, and they're going to get playmakers. Look, they still have Mike Evans.
Evans
You don't
is a
think
stud.
he's going to come up with plays to get that guy more into the end
Well,
zone?
you know, the Bucks' offense was actually very good. The issue was their turnovers, their missed field goals, their
Yeah,
bad
and they're
defense.
gonna-
The offense ranked great.
And they're going to clean that up. And look,
Yes.
that defense. Listen to me. Todd Bowles, his forte is defense.
Yeah.
When he took over the play calling for the Jets defense, they were somewhat decent. It
They
was
did
the
a little
it
bit
wasn't
better,
the-
yeah.
It was not the play calling; it was the personnel.
Yes, I said we were lacking certain personnel. Trumaine Johnson was a bust for us, obviously. Our corner situation was very shaky at best. We didn't have anyone to put pressure on the QB besides Leonard Williams and Henry Anderson. Henry Anderson we found out of nowhere. He was a steal. But we didn't have legit edge guys. And that's what his defenses needed. So we kind of failed him in that sense. I'll admit that there were some shortcomings from the roster. It wasn't all Bowles' fault.
No. Listen, Todd Bowles, but listen, his first stint as a head coach, it wasn't successful.
No,
look,
not at all. It wasn't successful by any means.
Here's what's going to happen. He's going to go to Tampa, and here's my prediction. I think he's going to make that defense at least maybe top 10, maybe.
They have a shot if they fix it. I mean, Gerald McCoy's still a beast, obviously.
Of course, and they still have JPP.
JPP,
The secondary is very good. They're going to find ways to get things done down in Tampa.
They got to fix some stuff.
You know what? Tampa needed somebody like Bruce Arians, and he's their guy, so I'm happy for that. I'm going to give that an A.
Okay, so this one is very interesting, and now there's some new information about this. The Broncos and Fangio. This is a very interesting hire because there's been an issue. They thought that Fangio was going to take over, he would do the defense and everything, and that Kubiak was going to run the offense. So you'd think, okay, that's fine. But now Kubiak's out the door, they couldn't agree on certain things, so now you have a defensive coach, but who's running the offense?
It's a bit of a problem.
I think that's a serious issue. Look, I don't think that can be dismissed.
I think it goes from bad to worse for Denver,
They just seem all out of sorts. Ever since they won that Super Bowl, they've just been missing on everything. Yeah. Paxton Lynch, what was that?
And I'm going to tell you this.
Case Keenum, Trevor Siemian, yuck. All that.
And Vic Fangio, this is his first stint. We'll see what happens. I think the defensive guy, and definitely with Nick Chubb and Von Miller.
Yeah,
and they
that's
better
good.
Not trade Von Miller, but
hopefully they do. I would take him.
Well, so would I. But who would? But
yeah, right. Everyone would. I feel like.
But what he's going to do is he's going to run the defense. He's going to make that defense better. You saw what he did in Chicago.
I agree.
Chicago's one of the best defenses.
Oh, for sure, no doubt.
So with the offense, they're going to have to find
somebody.
That's
my big issue. What are they doing with that offense? The offense is a train wreck.
Yes.
Who the hell is on that offense besides Philip Lindsay? Who else makes you bat an eye?
Sanders,
well, Sanders
he's a free agent.
And then there's Sutton. So you have Sutton and Lindsay, two nice players, but after them, you don't really have anything. So they have tons of work to do.
Yeah,
they got to fix that offense. So Fangio, he's going to get a C- from me. I'm
going to give this
because they don't have a full plan. It's not really a knock on him. It's kind of a knock on their decision making.
I'm going to give it a D+, and I'm going to give.
Oh wow, even worse than me. I thought C- was
I'm
low.
I'm going to give it a D+, and here's why. I think this guy is not proven anything. I think that in a way, he's going to have his hands full. I think he's going to make the defense top 10, top 10.
Their defense is fine, but
the offense, it's all about offense. Defense will help you enough, but it's not. They really need help. And
you see, that's where the problem lies. Like Bobby said, honestly, the offense is going to be a huge concern. Fangio is 6 years old. He has plenty of experience. He's the oldest hire, I believe, out of all these people that we're going through. So I think it'll be great for the defense, but the Broncos' defense has always been good. So you got to fix that offense. And Kubiak is a great offensive mind, and the fact they let him slip is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah,
I don't see how they let that go.
Yeah,
because I don't know who they're going to find that's going to fix it, but they'll figure it out, I guess. Fangio can coach. I'm not saying he can't coach, but I don't know how. I just don't like the whole dynamic right now with that offense.
No, I don't like it either.
So we'll move on from that. Now, there's two things that we need to speculate on, and the first one is another McVay guy. Bengals are about to hire Zach Taylor. This man is 35 years old, and he is a quarterback's coach. And now, this is getting ridiculous, literally. All you have to do is have a little bit of a meeting with McVay, an association with him for not even like a year, and you're a head coach all of a sudden. Just because McVay can do it, they think these guys can do it also? Is that what's going on here?
Well, yeah, they feel
it's a copycat league, I guess.
Yep, the McVay tree. The McVay coaching tree.
He's 32 years old. How does he have a coaching tree? He even said it himself. He's like, I'm 32. How can I have a coaching tree?
But,
and he does now. I can't believe this. This is lunacy to me. This hire gets I'm giving it a D. I think it's asinine, honestly. I think they're reaching. It's such a Bengals move. It's better than Hugh Jackson or Vance Joseph, though. I'll say that. But how much better? I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
What has this guy done to show he could be an NFL coach? He's just been with McVay. I mean, check Zach Taylor quickly. Let's go through his resume. Take a look at it. Please enlighten me. Try to say I'm crazy, but I don't think I'm too far off with this. He's 35 years old. Let's start with that.
Zach Taylor, yeah, he's 35. He's been the Rams quarterbacks coach. Last year, I guess they like what he.
That'll show us. Oh, click it.
He was the starting quarterback for the Cornhuskers.
Hold on, I have you. This will go through all his stuff. There's his resume. So, okay. He was
a player. He was on the Tampa Bay Bucks in 2007. He was also for the Canadian League, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And as a coach, he was a Texas A&M graduate assistant from 2008 to 2011. He was an assistant quarterbacks coach with the Dolphins in 2012 and became the quarterbacks coach in 2013 until 2015 with the Dolphins. He was promoted to offensive coordinator in 2015 for the Dolphins, in which he went to Cincinnati in 2016
there we go.
and was the offensive coordinator.
There's the relation right there. Okay, this makes a touch more sense to me
now
a little bit more.
They have a feel. They hired him because what he did, his work in LA for the quarterback for what he was doing, but also they hired him because they have a feel for what he could do. Okay, and in 2016, look, the the Bengals offense was not bad at all, and I could give you some stats.
I think they may have been a playoff team back then. Well, so, you know what, I'll bump it to a C because I know we learned a little more. So, I understand. He was on their staff at least. Okay, so he's only 35, but he's been coaching with quarterbacks. Okay, I could see it a little more. I just can't give it a great grade because he's very unproven.
Yeah,
I don't know I still don't fully support this, but it's a little bit better. Oh no, they were 6-9. They didn't even make the playoffs that year.
They were 6-9-1, but it says their offense. But it also says that he wasn't the offensive coordinator. That's what.
Interesting.
But they had a feel for him. I'll give this a C.
Yeah, I think it's a solid C. Yeah. I can't go higher than that. And I'm assuming he's gonna get hired as soon as the Rams get eliminated. So you should expect to see that. And now I gotta talk to you about the Dolphins because this is personal for you. They may be taking your defensive coordinator, Flores, I believe. So this is all you, Bobby. What do you think about this?
You know what? Brian Flores, look, he's my defensive coordinator. I like his approach. He's a very aggressive coach. I think the Patriots' defense is a little bit weak, but you know what? He's made it somewhat better. And I will say this now. I don't think he is head coach material right now.
Oh, okay.
I will say that because, he just became a D coordinator. He was I believe he was the linebackers coach. He really works well with the linebackers. He's a defensive guy. Belichick likes him. He's been with Belichick for a very long time. And, man, it is what it is. But, they're leaning towards hiring him. And if they do, congratulations. I think, we'll see what happens. The Dolphins, especially since they're going to let go of some of their best players, he's going to have a lot of work to do, especially at the quarterback position.
That's putting it mildly.
That's not his forte. He's a defensive guy, so he'll fix that defense up for Miami, but the offense is going to be a problem. So I'm going to give you this. If this is not set in stone yet. This is not official yet. They're leaning towards that. So many things could happen.
So, do you think Taylor is more set in stone than Flores, in your opinion?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you think Taylor is automatic no matter what, but you think Flores is a little questionable still?
Well, Flores, I'm not going to diss him. I think he...
Well, he is your guy, so do what you want to.
No, so I'm going to say I don't think he's ready. Let's put it that way. I don't think both candidates are ready, but it is what it is.
Right. So, you could argue a couple of them are,
Sean
honestly.
McVay wasn't ready, and look, he took that chance.
Yeah, so we're just guessing here. We could be completely wrong. We don't know how this is going to actually go. We're just giving you our outlook right now based on what we think, what they've done, how we see this going. But like Bobby said, everything can change. You never know how stuff's going to happen this season, what's going to happen in the draft, what signings, all this and that. So we're about to do the awards. Do you want to just have him on now, I guess?
Yeah, let's have him on.
All right. Let's go through it. So
Steve, what's up, bro?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
What's going
Wait,
on?
we gotta make sure we can hear him well. Like, do you think they can hear it well?
I'm pretty sure they could hear it well. It's on
Can you
speaker.
hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
we can. I'm just hoping it plays good for the video and stuff. The podcast, I guess, is more questionable, but all right. What's rock, Steve? So we went through all the coaches and everything. This is our friend Steve Houston. He's in our Dynasty League for fantasy football. Give us some background here. Shout out our the commissioner.
Yep.
One minute. Say it one more time.
Oh, I was saying, just give us some background as to who you are. You're our commissioner for the fantasy football league, our Dynasty. Just talking you up a bit.
So my name is Steven, and Julio and Bobby here. They are perennial playoff contenders. Julio, one time made a championship, and it didn't work out so great for him, but perennial contenders. We play in a dynasty league where essentially, instead of a redraft where you pick your players on a season-to-season basis, you have one big startup draft. Everyone that you pick stays on your team forever.
Yes, this is crazy stuff that we do.
Every year, there is a rookie/free agent draft where you get to replenish your teams.
Yes, that's the background for whoever doesn't know what Dynasty formats are, because most people do redrafts, but yes. So, Steve, we're just going to go through the awards. MVP, I'm sure we all agree. It's Patty Mahomes all day.
There's no question. And I don't know if anyone pays attention to the Oscars, but one frustration that occurs with the Oscars is that they never award people for their present work. It's one of those things where it's almost like a backlog, where they'll award someone for their previous work, but they'll say, shit, like we fucked it up,
Yes, that makes some sense. Like,
the only reason why Drew Brees wins the MVP this year,
if he does, which hope he doesn't.
Guilty about having never given Drew Brees the MVP before.
Right.
But there's no question. Patty Mahomes, there's been no player that put up the statistics that he did that didn't get MVP.
Yeah, I mean, I'll break it down right now. Patty has 50 touchdowns, just 12 picks. He's completed 66% of his passes, over 5,000 yards. His quarterback rating 113. His QBR is 82. I mean, you can't deny that.
There's no question. And listen, you can say, all right, Patty Mahomes, yeah, he's got a great coach. He's got a lot of weapons and stuff. But listen, Kareem Hunt got canned midway through the season. And you know what happened? Damian Williams. He was still able, and it's not like Damian Williams was running the ball to Galley's. It was on the pass.
Yeah.
You're talking about, on the flip side, okay, so you got Tyreek Hill. Sammy Watkins was fucking dead for a vast majority of the season.
Yeah, Watkins doesn't even exist basically.
And then, all right, so you're gonna say that Drew Brees was he had a better completion percentage or whatever nonsense Brees thing. I said that Drew Brees deserved it. Listen, he was throwing screen passes to Kamara, who is covered in grease. No one ain't gonna touch him. It's not like Drew Brees was launching the ball 50 yards and hit this man in stride perfectly, the way that Pat Mahomes was.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby, who do you have? Are you with us? What do you think for MVP?
For MVP, it's Patty Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, it should be, no question. But like you said, the only way Brees wins it is what you said. People feel guilty for not giving it to him in the past, but he hasn't been better than Patty this year. There's no way. And he tapered off at the end, too.
That's not to take away from the incredible accomplishments that Drew Brees has had this season. But you know what Drew Brees had this year? He had a slip in production. There was 3 or 4 weeks where he was putting up, 200
Yeah, he was floating around 200 or less, yeah.
The team was winning because the defense is excellent.
And there was that,
Who can you name outside the defensive line? In the middle or in the back of KC, who do they have to stop anyone? No, Patty Mahomes had to keep up with that. Drew Brees, I could throw for 200 yards, but my defense got covered.
Yeah.
That's not an MVP.
Yeah,
An MVP is the man that is the most valuable to the team.
Yeah, you're right.
Patty Mahomes.
Yeah, because there's that game that he scored 10 points against the Dallas Cowboys. He was abysmal in that game. And Patty has to carry the bad defenses all year. How many games has he lost that he's put up over 40 points? The game of the Patriots, he put up 40. The game against the Rams, he put up 50. And he lost because of the defense. And people still try to pick holes in him because of those losses. It's unbelievable.
They say that Patty Mahomes loses in big games.
Yeah, which isn't true at all. That's such a false narrative.
Where Patty Mahomes would oftentimes put up the go-ahead score with, God forbid, 30 seconds left, 45 seconds left, a minute, whatever. And, Phillip Rivers and such, comeback king, would come back and win it and hit on a two-point conversion where the defense would leave Mike Williams fucking uncovered. Sorry if I'm not supposed to, so I'll try to work on that.
Yeah, I mean, we're a little lenient with it, but yeah, just don't drop them too crazy, I guess. I try to, I'll do them sometimes, but it's okay. So let's...
Listen, I'm from Jersey, it happens. But anyway, so it's a situation where any time that the Chiefs have lost, you cannot put it on Pat Mahomes.
Yeah,
and a lot
not
of people
really, no.
A lot of people go and look at the game against the Rams, where they say, Pat Mahomes threw a couple of clutch interceptions at the very end of it. Those were desperation heat.
Yeah. And they'll point to the fumbles too, but he's a rookie. You gotta remember he's basically a rookie still. It's first year. He's not perfect. He'll make his mistakes here and there, but overall, great season. He's my MVP.
Yeah, he's the clear MVP for me.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. This one that might get you guys going a little bit. Offensive Player of the Year. My first question is, do we put Patty in this as well, or do we go for someone different if we're giving him the MVP?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
It becomes a redundant award, but I think that for hypothetical, I think that we should talk about what our offensive player of the year would be, excluding Patty.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. So I'm going to go with Julio Jones. That's my offensive player of the year because he put up 10 games over 100 yards. He led the league in receiving. I know we didn't get that All-Pro nod. I know they didn't win, but he still had a great season, and I think he was the best receiver in the league this year. So I think he should be awarded with some hardware for once.
Yeah. Bobby, what do you think?
I'm going to go with, for us, Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going to go with, I'm going to probably go with, honestly, I'll go with Michael Thomas.
Ooh.
From the Saints.
That's an interesting one.
I think he had a good year. I thought he did pretty well. He had over 100 catches, over 1,000 yards. So.
Now, how much do you see that as being Mike Thomas being an outstanding receiver? And how much do you see that being bolstered by Drew Brees?
Well, I think that Drew Brees, that's his favorite guy, so he was given a lot of targets because there wasn't, honestly, the receiving core other than him was a bit mediocre in my opinion, but
yeah, that's true. I'll give you that. I just think that Thomas tapered off towards the end. Julio was playing much better at the end. Thomas started great, but I just Jones was more consistent to me. I know Thomas has more catches and he caught more of his targets, but Jones had more yards per catch. So I know he had less touchdowns. They're both great receivers. It's 1A and 1B, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. But y'all look at receivers. I think that there's I'm glad that we're talking about this before the playoffs get settled, because I feel there's going to be a little bit of recency bias.
Yes, that's why I wanted to do this now. I felt this was the right week. Last week we were a little bit cluttered with the coaches and everything, so I didn't really want to throw it in. But
I'm with you. But what I'm going to say is I think it's got to be Todd Gurley.
Okay, I'll take that. That's a nice one, too.
He closes off the season, obviously, on a low note a little bit. He's recovering a little bit. But you can't deny the bulk of the season, what he does to that team.
Yeah.
Now, I know, I believe that Jared Goff is a player that still deserves debate as to how good he is.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily going to be one of those people that says, he's exclusively a product of Adam Gase. I do think he is an extremely talented quarterback as well. But this team,
you mean McVay? You said Gase.
That keeps receivers open, that keeps pressure off him, other than his fantastic offensive line, is the threat of Todd Gurley. And for me, Todd Gurley is still the offensive player of the year.
Yeah, he would have been my second choice, honestly. So I can't knock Gurley. He was like I was debating between him and Julio. Obviously I like Julio, but he had a good year. He has a case. I mean, I don't think he'll get it, but I'll make a case for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to jump aside. So we're talking in relation to Julio Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk about like these guys that these non-playoff teams. Obviously, I think these awards are biased towards teams
Playoff teams.
Playoff.
Yeah, I know. I said I did mention that they weren't winning. So I get what you're saying. I feel you.
But to go with that concept of like an offensive player of the year that I don't actually believe will win it, but I think deserves at least a nod. It's Mike Evans.
Yeah, Evans was very underlooked too. He had 1,500 yards. Yeah.
Put up that many yards that quietly.
Yeah, it was
a situation where his team was in complete turmoil.
Yeah.
Switching quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Coaches having issues all the time with ownership. There's so many issues going on at Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And Mike Evans, you never heard a peep from him.
No, you didn't.
He was never going to be a diva. He was never anything. And he put up, 1,500 yards or damn close to it?
He was over 15, yeah, and he had double-digit touchdowns. He had, I think, over 100 catches, too, if I'm not mistaken. He had a great season.
I'm not saying he's going to win Offensive Player of the Year, but when Offensive Player of the Year gets announced, and you look at that person's stats, and you compare him to Mike Evans, you're going to say, shit, if Mike Evans was in the playoffs and that person was not, might this have been switched?
Yeah, I mean, you could say the same thing for Julio, maybe. I think both of them had very good seasons, very comparable seasons.
Same logic for Julio. Absolutely same logic for Julio. And Julio had to do it with one more year of Steve Sarkisian.
Oh, yeah, right. That should have the asterisk over it that he had the worst play caller ever.
Imagine how good his stats would be if his offensive coordinator and play caller wasn't functioning with a .25 BAC.
Yeah, right. I mean, thank God we're done with Stark in Atlanta. I just hope he doesn't muck up the Cardinals now. I can't believe they hired him.
Yeah,
but,
I worry. Not to get too far off track, but I'm hoping that Kingsbury will get the play call in Arizona.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. We were actually...
Let's move on to the next next award.
All right, Defensive Player of the Year. This is Aaron Donald all day for me.
There's really no question. I want to debate it. I want to have something that I could argue as another option, but there's no one else.
Yeah, I was looking too. I was trying to maybe pick a debate, but I couldn't find one either. The only other guy you could have said was Khalil, but he got injured, so it's Aaron Donald now. Donald played every game.
And I don't want to blame Khalil Mack for the certain disappearances that he had during the season, and most recently during the game versus the Eagles.
Oh yeah, he didn't do anything.
When you have two guys that are 300 some odd pounds throwing the whole weight at you and blocking in your entire offensive line scheme designed to stop you. Listen, you can't blame Khalil Mack for not putting up the numbers in certain games when teams are scheming against him.
Yes.
Now, that says a lot about him because when you look at the overall production of the Chicago Bears, you see Leonard Floyd producing, you see Roquan Smith producing, you see, a lot of throwaways. You actually see the influence of Khalil Mack.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, Aaron Donald also got double teamed, and Aaron Donald ran through them all.
Yeah, I'm about to go through his stat sheet, and it's so impressive. 20 and a half sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 2 recoveries, 25 tackles for loss, and 59 total tackles. This guy was a stud all year. He's an animal. I can't give this to anyone else, not even close.
Yeah, no, I mean, and you know what the crazy thing is that we all know that MVP is a biased stat towards a quarterback with a rare occasion towards a running back.
Yeah.
But there's some defensive players that deserve at least a nod.
Yeah, I think he should get votes. I agree. I would vote. I would give him some votes.
Or Aaron Donald absolutely deserves some consideration He won't get, but he deserves a nod.
Oh yeah, I agree. He should get a few votes. He was that good this year. I mean, defensive tackle getting 20 sacks, that's unheard of. I've never seen that before.
He's so consistent. He's so good.
I
Bobby,
know.
what are you thinking?
I'm sorry?
Defensive player of the year,
It's
bro.
Aaron Donald, there's no question. It's Aaron Donald.
Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. So I think the next award is too, honestly. Comeback player of the year,
Comeback player of the year is Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck.
Yeah, Andrew Luck. Shoot, man, we have too much consensus on this. Can I reel it back? I don't know how time constrained you are, but I'm curious about for these consensus ones. Aaron Donald's a consensus. I think Andrew Luck's consensus. I can speak English. What would your second option be? What would your number two be? We talked about Khalil Mack for Defensive Player of the Year. Other than Andrew Luck, what would you consider for comeback player of the year?
Okay, I got you. J.J. Watt would be my runner-up.
All right.
Because he missed a lot of time and he looks like his old self this year. So I'm riding with the AFC South there. I think those two both had a great seasons off big injuries. So I just got to give it to Luck because what he's done with this Colts team, he's been outstanding. And he just beat Watt too. I know we're not supposed to use playoffs, but I can't help it in this situation. But I would have went Luck regardless, honestly. He was that
No,
good.
for real. For real, no, absolutely deserves it all. Bobby, what do you think?
For a runner-up for comeback player of the year, I'd probably go with that. I would go with Julio Jones, who had a bad year last year.
Oh, interesting.
So I
He did. I mean, it absolutely was. I mean, when you all consider the adversity against him, where some people have adversity, injury, Julio Jones had adversity coming from the fucking offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're freaking offensive coordinator.
And yeah, and he was battling injuries. He's been playing hurt all the time. I mean, Julio's could be an option for that too. But I'll go with Watt. I think.
I got a tie. I have two bangers for you. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear him.
Number one, Adrian Peterson.
Oh, Peterson's a good candidate too, actually.
Y'all, and when I say y'all, I mean me included. The world wrote off Adrian Peterson. He goes down to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Gets traded off to Arizona. No one thinks that. He has one or two big games in Arizona. We all get a little hyped, and then it all falls off.
Right.
No one thinks about him ever again. He goes to Washington. They draft Darius Geis, their heir apparent. No one considers Adrian Peterson to be a factor at all. And he puts up 1,000 yards rushing.
Yeah, he had a great season, especially he was the main player for them too. Once everything hit the fan and they had all the injuries, we would look at was Adrian Peterson. Whenever I was going over Redskin games, I'm like, oh, it's just AP, like there's no one else, and he held his own for as long as he could.
I mean, he was fantastic. Now, I'm not going to say that he was better in terms of the comeback player of the year award for Luck. I think he's on the same. I think, I'm a little sassy with J.J. Watt. I think J.J. Watt has enough awards.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I just gave it to him because, he missed.
No, I mean, it's not to say that J.J. Watt didn't earn it. I'm a little pissy.
Oh, yeah, I feel you. I mean,
Peterson deserved one. And then one other one that I thought deserved it is Richard Sherman.
Yeah. Well,
Richard Sherman got so much flack. Not just for leaving Seattle and the way that it all fell apart and the Legion of Boom all falling apart, but everyone bashed on him because he went on to San Francisco and negotiated his own contract.
Yeah, that was an interesting play.
No agent. And let's remember that this is a Stanford-educated, smart player.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that, but he is very smart. You're right.
But at the same time, you think, all right, he's gotta have an agent. He can't not have an agent. And this guy, I mean, things didn't work out well for the 49ers for reasons outside of Richard Sherman's control. He's not got any control over Jeff McKinnon going down, over Jimmy Garoppolo going down, yada, yada, yada. But he was locked down this season. He might not have been a top corner, but he impressed so well, and with so many people expecting him to fail, that I have to give him an honorable mention now.
That's an interesting one. I didn't even think of that. That's some good perspective. That was really outside the box thinking there because I kind of wasn't paying attention to him as much because, the 49ers kind of struggled. I'm not really looking at their defense that close, so it's good to see that you're taking notice of him.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hey, if the Seahawks, I'm not the biggest Jimmy Garoppolo believer. I certainly am not a big Jerick McKinnon believer. I'm a Breda guy, but
Oh, yeah,
if
that's right.
If the Seahawks live up to the hype next year, i.e., stay healthy, you're going to hear a lot about Richard Sherman. That's what I think.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think he's going to win it, but I think you should keep an eye out for him.
Yeah, we'll see what's up with that. So we'll see if the Niners can bounce back next year and see how Sherman plays off of his good season. So, Coach of the Year, maybe this can be a little more interesting, but my guy's Frank Wright. After starting 1-5 and turning around the Colts after McDaniels spurned them, I think Frank Wright turns out to be a better hire than McDaniels ever would have been. Oh, I guess you didn't get that, but what do you think, Bobby?
I'm gonna go with Matt Nagy. I think
Okay.
he turned the Bears around. He made them.
That's a good one.
He really turned them around. He built it around Mitch Trubisky. They seem to have found the formula over there, and then when they find the right kicker, they'll be all right.
Yeah, that's the thing they got to work on. I just think Wright did a great job, especially after starting 1-5, and they were an embarrassment last year. The Colts were a laughing stock, and he turned them into a well-oiled machine. They've won, I think, 10 out of 11 games now, including this playoff game. The Colts are rolling. Definitely going to be a tough test for the Chiefs, and we're about to get into that. Steve, you still there?
I'm still with you. So, we're talking Coach of the Year?
Yeah, I went Frank Wright. Bobby went Nagy.
Anthony Lynn.
Okay, there's the third one. There you go. Lynn was a dark horse for me. I like the Lynn one, too, because the Chargers have been really good this year, and that team is believing. They play well together. I like what I've seen from Anthony Lynn.
Had a lot of talent around him. I'm not going to lie. I will acknowledge that I think that when Nagy came into town, he did not have as much to work with. I want to credit Ryan Pace, who I think is a fantastic GM, setting him up for success. Not that, he needed that, but, I think that Nagy and Pace are a great combo. But I think the one element when you look at the successful head coaches and unsuccessful head coaches, you oftentimes see shooty, crappy front offices for those teams that fail and great front offices for the teams that succeed.
Right, that makes a lot of sense.
No one's ever gonna look at the San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers front office and say, "Hey, it's great." But Anthony Lynn came in there and he's turned it around. He made some great trades. He got Mike Pouncey. He's got Melvin Gordon. Pumped out, adding Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
That Justin Jackson as another run. I know we're focused on these fancy lean-in positions, but at the same time, I think that he has done an absolutely outstanding job.
No, Tex, this is the relevant stuff.
Really mediocre. And it's not only that, but when you look throughout the season, Kansas City seemed like they were dominant. Kansas City seemed unstoppable. Kansas City was going to win that conference, and there was no stopping them. And yes, that is exactly what happened. But the very end, the San Diego Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers, kept up with them to the very end of it.
And they won that game in Arrowhead. That was a huge win.
The games that the San Diego Chargers lost to Los Angeles Chargers, I'm going to make that mistake forever.
Yeah, I do it too, don't worry.
They were against playoff teams. They were against tough teams.
Yeah, the only one they botched was the Denver game. That was the only one that stood out. They should have won the Denver game. They really blew that, but hey, they were 12-4. They were nitpicking at that point. It was a great season by Lynn. And like you said,
one thing that I want to shout out, and what makes a great leader is the ability to delegate. And what Anthony Lynn did by delegating the defensive play calling to Gus Bradley.
Oh, yeah. That's your guy, too. Gus Bradley's been great.
If you watch the game, well, they had to, of course, the poor Chargers not just have to travel out once to the East Coast for the first playoff game, but they got to travel back out there for East Coast playoff game at 1 o'clock.
I personally think they should have stayed on the East Coast. I don't like them going back and forth. I don't understand why they did that.
Listen, when you're hurt and you're flying, the amount of pressure and injury, like you can oftentimes have certain injuries get additionally inflamed.
Yeah, I really hope that Melvin Gordon is all right.
Worth it. Stay on the East Coast if you know you're gonna be there in a week. Now, it'd be one thing if they were out in the East Coast and they were playing 4 o'clock games. It could be a little bit better, but they haven't played out there at 1 o'clock games.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I would have liked for them to stay too, but they didn't, unfortunately. I hope they can figure it out, obviously, but we'll get to them soon. Let's move on here. Rookies, offense, and defense. Maybe we could spark some interesting debates here. Offense, I'm going with Saquon Barkley, though. Over 2,000 yards from scrimmage, 15 total touchdowns. I can't deny Barkley.
Not getting an argument from me either. It's Barkley.
What do you think, Steve?
Baker Mayfield, no question.
All right, I was hoping you would say that. I had a feeling you would. So
I don't even think Saquon Barkley sniffs the relevance and the importance of Baker Mayfield. Saquon Barkley came in. All right, what was the Giants' record?
They were really bad.
Saquon Barkley.
I'm going to say 3-13 or 4-12. Which one?
Either way, what did the Giants finish after drafting Saquon Barkley?
5-11. I think there was a 2-game improvement, maybe.
Yeah. You know what that means? It means he didn't mean shit. He didn't fix that team. He didn't do anything for that team. He was he had some flashy highlights. Lord knows he was better than my boy Paul Perkins.
Yeah, obviously.
He was great. It's great. If you got him in fantasy, you're real happy. But we're talking about the real NFL. And at the end of the day, there's no position more important than quarterback.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Baker Mayfield not only set the NFL rookie record for most throwing touchdowns at 27, but he took a team with Hugh originally holding him back. Imagine what would happen if Hugh wasn't there to start. He had Freddie Kitchens coaching from the get-go.
Yeah. I do think about that too. Like, could they have been?
That team became a threat for every game that Baker Mayfield played in. That Hugh Jackson wasn't the coach.
Yeah, I mean, you make an interesting point. And he also didn't start the season. I see your side of the argument. I just think Barkley, yes, the significance on the field wasn't there, but his stats were amazing. I'm just looking at, like, kind of the overall seasons. I mean, Baker killed it too. He did. But I see, from an impact standpoint, you're right. Baker had...
Those are the only two offensive. Those are the only two. I think it's a healthy debate. And
yeah, it definitely is.
Those two. One of them is, you look at the stats for Saquon, and frankly, the highlights. I mean,
he has some great plays.
Disgusting. You can't not, curl up and just be like, holy cow, when you watch the Saquon Barkley cuts and jukes. I was at the Giants-Jags game to start the season when Saquon had that 60-some-odd yard touchdown run, and he must have broken 10 ankles.
Yeah, I remember that. I was with Bobby, actually. We were watching that.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
But there's stats and highlights, and then there's the actual influence on the team. And I think they're equally valid arguments to pick one or the other. But there's no one else besides those two.
Oh, no one even sniffs them. I mean, Baker, like you said, he impacted the Browns way more. Like, the wins, he had 7 more wins than they had without him. So there's the impact right there. And it depends how they look at this. Who do you think's going to actually win it? Who do you think walks away with the hardware?
Baker wins it.
Oh, you think Baker will actually get it?
I mean, I think that it is a legitimate argument either way, but for better or for worse, in my opinion, for worse when it comes to MVP, but better for other awards, I think that there's a quarterback bias.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It'll be interesting. I think it's going to be a close call. I think it'll be almost a split, but it'll be interesting to see.
I agree with that. Bobby, what do you think?
I think it's going to be Saquon Barkley.
All right, that's it.
Okay, so we'll go to defense now, and I'm going with Darius Leonard. This guy's been killing it. He's had 163 tackles, 2 picks, 7 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, 2 recovered, and 12 tackles for losses. He's stuffed the stat sheet. He's really an underrated player. He got snubbed from the Pro Bowl somehow. He made the first team All-Pro at least, so it was good to see him get recognition there, but that's my guy for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Bobby, what do you think?
If it were up to me, I would go with Derwin James. I think he's
Okay.
been a really good.
Yeah, my boy!
Are you a Derwin guy too?
Let Bobby finish it. Bobby, finish up your point on
I
Derwin.
think that.
Don't me interrupt.
Yeah, I don't want to get interrupted again, but basically, I think Derwin James has had a great year. He's been a difference maker on that defense. He's a playmaker. He gets it done, and I think Darius Leonard is a great has been great. I think that he's definitely going to be in the conversation, but I just think Derwin James takes it.
Yeah, I am in agreement with Bobby.
Oh, wow.
One thing that I see with Darius Leonard is he has a very high tackle rate, and he is often in coverage. You know what that means? A lot of times, the guy he is recovering makes a catch. And he brings him down. He does a great job bringing him down. No one's breaking Darius Leonard's tackles and running off to the heavens.
No.
It's not to say that he is obviously a bad linebacker or anything like that. I think he's fantastic. But Derwin James is something special. Derwin James is going to be a perennial All-Pro. I don't trust in the Darius Leonard long term.
Okay, that's a fair argument. I see your point. I guess you think that Leonard the coverage slips, so that inflates his tackle stats, and I guess Derwin's kind of back there. He kind of needs to force the action a little bit more, I guess, because I'm sure he's whipped on a bunch too that have occurred in the tackles, but I guess it's a little different because he's got more room to work with, maybe.
Alright, so what's our next award?
Alright, so that's actually it for awards. We're going to actually break this up into 2 parts. We got to cut this one out. I'm also going to see how we picked up your audio so we can know if it'll work for the next video, because here's what we're doing. This video is about to be over because it's getting really long and no one's going to want to sit through all this, so we have to split this and make the 4 playoff games our next video.
Yo, y'all gotta call me earlier, man. I was ready to go.
Yeah, we got a late jump today, but for this part of G&T, that's all we got time for. I'm Julian Gallardi.
I'm Bobby Thompson.
Yeah, so we're going to close this part off. We go to it.